Hi guys, welcome back to my miniature things. My name is Saeed. Christmas is here and I'm in the middle of decorating my house, so please excuse all of the mess in the background. Every year for Christmas, my family and I, we get together and we spend our holiday season together, and I do mean the whole season. Like sometimes like a week to like 2 weeks before Christmas and like a week to 2 weeks after Christmas. So in total, sometimes it's like 3 to 4 weeks together for the holiday season. And I love that so much. Like I literally look forward to this time of year like all year round so that I can spend this time with my family. And last year I actually made them an advent calendar. It's the first time I've ever done it, but it was really fun. Like they really enjoyed it. But I went up into the attic to grab my advent calendar, which is where I keep all of my Christmas stuff, and you guys, oh my god, it's horrible, but this is what it looked like. It's in complete and total shambles. Like it's in pieces, but you can see basically the gist of it, like the drawers, and oh my god, it's horrible. I think like one of the totes that had like other Christmas stuff like fell on it and completely ruined it. So I decided to make up a new one. And I thought it would be a really fun idea to film it and show you guys how I do it, because as I said, I made this last year. I feel like I've gotten a lot better at crafting over the past year, so let's see how much better we can make this advent calendar. I mean, I think anything would be better than this at this point, right? Now, I know that most advent calendars, they do like 24 days before Christmas, but my family is coming on the 18th of this month, which gives us only 7 days till Christmas. So my advent calendar is only gonna have 7 days on it. You guys can tailor your advent calendar to how many ever days you want. It doesn't have to be 24. You can make it, you know, as long as or short as you want. You can see right here, I got the Mini Brands advent calendar and they have 24 days of Christmas. Today, I believe, is the 9th, so I am on this one. But as I said, my family is not gonna be here for that long, so we are not gonna do 24 days. I am also obsessed with Home Alone. Like, it's literally my favorite Christmas movie. And I'm also obsessed with the house from Home Alone. Like, it's literally, like, whenever I think of, like, a Christmas house, that's what I think of. So I was thinking that we can try to mimic the Home Alone house in our advent calendar. And by mimic, I mean take some inspiration from it. Like, we're not gonna try to make the Home Alone house exact, because as you can see right here, this house is massive and there's so much detail in it, but I do love the red bricks, the white windows with the black shutters. So without further ado, let's jump right into making our advent calendar that is inspired by the Home Alone house. I cut a piece of foam board down to 20 by 20. This is going to be the back of our advent calendar. I then mark a line that is 5 inches from one edge. I then find the center of the board that should be at 10 inches and I mark it within the 5-inch margin. So you should end up with something that looks like this. I am then going to take my ruler and connect the corner where this line meets the edge of the board to the corner where this line meets the edge of the board. Then using my X-Acto knife, I cut that piece away. Repeat for the other side. And now we have a piece of foam board in the shape of a house. Now let's start making all of our shelves for all of our presents for all the different days of Christmas. I cut a piece of foam board that is 4 inches by 20 inches. I did get the sticker on the back of my piece, but don't worry, we are going to cover that later. We are just going to stick this right on the side like that. Actually, before I attach this to the side of my house, I'm actually going to cover it in this brick printable that I printed off of my computer, because since this is going to be the side of the house, obviously I want this to be covered in the same thing that we are going to cover the front, so it looks cohesive all the way around. I cut another piece of foam board that measures 4 inches, measuring 19.5 inches across. I cut 2 of them. I then measure 7.5 inches up from the bottom and I draw another line going all the way across. So you should have 2 lines going across like that, and then we place them on the lines that we drew before, one there and one there, to give us our first shelf. So now that we have our first set of shelves, let's make a base to give us a second shelf down here. So I take a piece of foam board that measures 6 inches by 30 inches, and I place it at the bottom of my house right in the middle, giving us a second shelf. And you guys, I'm fully aware that this thing is massive. It can barely fit in the frame, but you guys can definitely change the measurements so you can make it as big or as little as you like. So now it's time to make our individual shelves within these shelves. Since this measures 19.5 across, I'm going to divide that by 3 because I want 3 shelves on the top. That gives us 6.5 inches per shelf. So I measure from the edge and I mark 6.5 inches every 6.5 inches. So I cut foam board that measures 4 inches by 7.25, and I place them right on top of those lines. And before I started placing my shelves, I measured the top, the bottom, and the back and marked it so that when I install my shelves, they don't come out crooked. I installed my partitions on the top and on the bottom, giving me a total of 6 shelves. But my family is going to be here for 7 days of Christmas, so let's put one more shelf on the top. So I placed 2 pieces of foam board that measures 4 inches by 3 inches on the top, lining it up with the bottom shelves. And then I placed a piece that is 6 3/4 by 4 inches on the top of that, giving us an extra shelf for a grand total of 7 shelves. Now let's work on the roof. I'm just gonna turn this around so it's easier for you guys to see because I don't really have that much space coming this way. I cut 2 pieces of foam board that measures 13 inches by 5.5 inches, and then I just placed them right on the top so that they meet at a point to make a roof. Now let's move on to our drawers. I cut a piece of foam board to 6.5 by 7.25, and I covered it in festive paper. I cut another piece that measures 7 inches by 3.5 inches, and I stick it to the side that measures 7.25. And I actually stick it about 1/4 inch from the edge so we have a little bit of wiggle room. Last year I made the drawers the exact same size of the shelf, and it was a problem. I then cut another piece of foam board at 5 3/4 by 3.5, and I stick it right at the bottom. I am now going to add in another piece that measures 7 by 3.5 to give our drawer another side. And last but not least, I cut a piece that is 6 1/4 by 7, and I place it right in the back like so to give us a finished drawer. Now that we have a finished drawer, it should pretty much look like this. It's pretty much a box. You place it down on the table with the good side facing up, measure 3 inches down, use your X-Acto knife, and cut a little slit right in the middle. Like this, you can kind of see it right there. I then take a piece of ribbon that measures about 6 inches and I place it right over the slit. Using my X-Acto knife again, I flip the blade over this way and I start pushing the ribbon into the slit using the dull side of the blade. And as you can see, the ribbon is peeping out on this side. I just gently pull it through. And if you use the dull side of your blade, you will also see that my ribbon has not been cut in any way. I then fold the ribbon upwards and then repeat the process for the other side of the ribbon so that both sides of the ribbon are inside of the box. I make sure that my tab outside is about 1.5 inches long, and this is what the inside looks like. I'm just gonna hot glue this in place so that when I pull this, it's safe and secure. I repeat that exact same process 6 more times using different festive papers to give us 7 different drawers to put all of our little goodies in, and each drawer has a pull tab to make it easy to remove. I'm pretty happy with how the inside of our box came out. Let's start working on the outside. We are gonna come back to this a little bit later just so that we can fill in all these little spaces and just make it look more finished. So to start working on the outside of our house, I took a piece of foam board and cut it down to 24 inches by 20 inches, and then I lightly scored a line 4 inches in so that we can gently bend it like this. This is gonna serve as our hinge. I then flip it over, find where it folds, and place a piece of duct tape right over the fold. This is just to reinforce that hinge, just because I don't trust the strength of the paper with my crazy family opening this every day. Now this piece is gonna mimic the back of the house, so I'm gonna do exactly what we did when we were cutting the back. I measured down 5 inches and I drew a line. Then I found the middle from the edge of our foam board to the line that we cut, which was 10 inches, and I mark it. Now this piece on the side that folds, the 4-inch piece, this is gonna be our sidewall. We don't need this piece up here, so let's just cut this out like that. Now I'm gonna flip this around just so it's easier for you guys to see and for me to work with. And again, we're gonna repeat exactly what we did in the back piece and remove those corners to give us a piece of foam board that is shaped like a house. Again, I am now going to cover the entire front of this house using the brick paper that I printed off of the computer. When I get to the side right here, I am going to stop the glue right here, and I will stick this part down once we've installed the entire thing. So it should look something like this. I've glued down all of my brick paper except for this side, and I'm also left a little bit of an overhang on the side just because when the paper bends like this, it is going to use that up to go around the curve. Now let's make a door. I cut a piece of craft foam to 4 inches, and it was supposed to be 8 inches tall, but I accidentally cut off those 2 inches at the bottom, and this is all the craft foam that I have left, so we're just gonna have to make it work. I stuck it right in the middle, but we do have a huge gap right here. So I cut a thin piece of gold paper and I just stick it right over the gap to make it look like a design in our door, and it was meant to be that way. I then cut 1/2-inch strips of foam board to make a border for our door. I then add a few more pieces to the top to give us molding. You can cut the foam board into a 1/8 of an inch strip and place it right in the middle to give us 2 doors. I cut out a few more pieces of foam and I place it on the door, for a design element. I found this pack of gold letters and numbers at the dollar store, so I stuck them on the side to create an address. And then I also finished the door with some beads to create a doorknob and a peephole. Now, of course, every house has to have windows. I cut some plexiglass down to 3.5 by 5 inches. If you don't have plexiglass, you can easily use the clear plastic from Doll packaging. I cut 1/4 inch strips of paper and stuck a piece right down the middle to start creating our frame. I then cut 2 pieces of foam board that measures 1/2 inch by 3.5 inches, and I stick one on the top and one at the bottom. I then take 2 more 1/4 inch strips of our paper and place one here and here. To finish it off, I take 2 pieces of black foam board, cut it down to 1 inch by 4 inches, and I place them on either side to create shutters, and now we have a finished window. I repeat 4 more times to give us 5 windows. Now when we look through our windows, we're seeing brick. We definitely don't want to see that. So our options are we can add some black cardstock to the back of the window so that it looks like this, so that it covers up the brick when it's placed on the house. Or we can use pictures that I printed from online and place them behind the window, just like we did the black foam board, and then place them on the house, so that when we are looking through the window, we can see a little Christmas scene in every single window. I think we should go with the second option so that we have a little scene in every single window. It'll just make it a lot more fun when you're looking at it. I printed out 5 different ones. We saw the first one over here, and then this one is a bedroom, so I would put that upstairs. This one is a staircase, so I would put it up here. Then I have another bedroom for upstairs. And then last but not least, I could not find a Christmas kitchen, so I got this one. I'm not really thrilled with this one, so I'll be right back. I'm gonna go look some more and see if I can find a Christmas kitchen. 3 hours later, I am back. I had to go all the way to UPS to print this because my printer was acting up, but I got a better kitchen. This one just looks a little more Christmassy than this one. And I also changed the scale of the stairs so that you don't see all of downstairs while looking through an upstairs window. This is what it looks like when the windows are all installed. You can see through each window, and I think it looks super cute. Now that we have the front of our house done, let's attach it to the actual advent calendar. So we're gonna take our side flap, this piece right here, and just slide it in on the side. Oh! Try not to rip your paper. And then I'm just gonna glue this in place. And now we can finally roll our brick paper to the side of the house and stick it down. I then take scrapbook paper and covered the base of my calendar. I also used some gold scrapbook paper to create a little walkway, and I cut 1/4 inch strips of that same gold paper that I made the walkway with, and I lined the foam board on the end so that we cover up the white to give the illusion that the base of our house is made out of metal. Let's now switch our focus to the roof. I am just gonna turn this around so it's easier for you guys to see. So being that we used black for our base and then we did black shutters on the black door, I wanna do a black roof. So I think I'm gonna change the color of the roof by adding some black paper on the top. I start by cutting 1 inch strips of black cardstock and then making cuts in the paper about 3/4 of an inch up every 3/4 inches. So you should end up with something that looks like this. You see how there's little cuts in the paper, but I didn't go all the way through, so it's still connected. I then cut a piece of black cardstock and I stick it on the roof, so if there's any spaces in our shingles, you won't see the white foam board through it. I then place a strip of my shingles right at the edge of my roof. I glue it down and I trim off the excess. I then place another line of shingles right above that. I then repeat a few more times to give us a finished roof. Now you can leave it as is, but I'm gonna take my fingers and kind of just ruffle them up a bit just to add some texture to my roof. So this is what I ended up getting for the roof. I decided to bring it over here to show you guys just because I did not have enough room over there at the craft table. So remember how we trimmed the side of the base with this gold piece of paper? I was thinking to trim the side of the roof with a black piece of paper just so it looks more finished. Like this, I am much happier with this. Now I know that I say that I wanted to make this look like the Home Alone house, and I think we're there. But I was playing around with some of my 1/2 inch foam board and I got an idea. What if we place some on the sides of the door and then on the sides of the house just to give it a nice trim? I kind of really like that. I know it's not Home Alone, but it looks really good. Okay, you can't tell me that this doesn't look better. This looks so good. I don't know why in my head I remember the Home Alone house having pillars like this in the front, but it didn't. But regardless, I am in love with it and I think it looks way better. So I think we are completely done with the crafting portion of our advent calendar. Now it's time to decorate it. Oh, I also forgot to mention that I did change out the numbers on the side of the door just because I felt like the other numbers were a little bit too big. So I switched them out for these little ones. I added a few Christmas decorations over the windows, and this is what I got. I decided to reuse some of the decorations, including the numbers from the old advent calendar, and this is what I got for the inside. I also added some gold trim to cover up the sides of that white foam board, and you guys, I don't know how this slipped by me, but I forgot the sticker, the price sticker on this side of my foam board, and I don't know how to get it off. I've been trying and it is ruining the foam board, as you can see. So if anybody knows how to get that off, please let me know because it is driving me crazy. Okay, you guys, there you guys go. We made our advent calendar that was inspired by the Home Alone house. As I said, I did add a few things that was not very Home Alone-y. Like, they actually didn't decorate their house. Can you believe that? That was kind of a shocker because I kind of remember this house to be, I guess, something that it's not. Like, I remembered it having like crazy decorations all over it, and I also remember these white pillars, as I said. Like, I do like vividly remember that. I don't know, maybe it's like the Mandela effect, is that what they call it? I don't know. But you guys, I'm so happy with the way this came out. I am in love with it. Like, literally, this is honestly and truly probably, I'm not joking, one of the best things I've ever made, if not the best thing I've ever made. Literally giving myself a pat on the back for that one. Like, I think it came out so good. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Merry Christmas.